Arc Nova, Wingspan, Everdell. Anybody there? What is this game? It's terrifying! What is all that racket? If you really wanted to play this tile placement board game, all you had to do was ask. Blimey. G'day everybody, it's Danny here from Board Game Sanctuary. I'm a board gamer from Australia who loves sharing my passion for this hobby, especially with beginning players, with my friends, my family, and of course, you. I am in love with Carcassonne. It's probably one of my first gateway games that I ever purchased, and because I came from a background where I was really into fantasy maps, and the idea of building a different map each time in a competitive puzzle experience was something that I really loved about the original game. I have a strong affinity with the original game because at my wedding, it was like my guest book where I bought a brand new box of Carcassonne tiles, had all my guests write their messages at my wedding, and every time I get it out to play, I can relive that special day, but also build cool maps at the same time. Now, when Mists of Carcassonne kind of hit my radar, I was like, can you play Carcassonne cooperatively? I always saw it as a competitive game, and I think I entered this with a sense of trepidation. But before we start, let me explain how to play and I'll let you know my thoughts.
When I go to sleep, there's often a game that pops into my dreams. Or should I say my nightmares. The fear of drawing tiles in Carcassonne, unknowingly aware that my fate will completely rest in it, is truly frightening. Each tile you place in Carcassonne should continue the shared landscape in some way, whether it be extending a windy road or expanding the next piece of the castle. Whatever happens, you can always choose to dedicate a meeple to that feature, and when completed in the future, you'll be able to score it. Mists over Carcassonne has helped me to overcome my fears, as it's a fully cooperative game. Phew. Yet it has instead replaced that fear with anxiety. Hear me out as I introduce you to these ghostly fiends. As you work together with the other player, mists will appear on the tiles that you draw and that you place that feature these transparent looking ghouls. Each time you place a tile with mist on the map, you'll place the number of ghosts on the tile as shown. If you ever run out of ghosts to place, you immediately lose the game. Oh, by the way, did I mention that there's only 15 of them? That's literally like eating one strand of spaghetti and calling it a full meal. There are ways to hose away the ghosts in the game without calling Ghostbusters. That is, to seal off the mist. If you can seal off the mist, you can remove all of the ghosts contained within it, giving you room to breathe. A little, for now. Additionally, each time you connect or expand a mist, you put out one less ghost. Sounds easy, doesn't it? That is until the cemeteries appear.
Going for a castle strategy. Oh my goodness. It's the second turn and I drew this triple ghost tile and I've already got 5 ghosts out on my field. I really have no choice but to expand the mist because that's going to mean I'm only going to be able to put 2 ghosts out instead of 3. Brutal. This is brutality.
Cemeteries are a new type of tile that attracts ghosts. Each time you would place a ghost anywhere on the map, you must also place one additional ghost on the cemetery. This accelerates your rate of doom so quickly. It's like watching flies at a funeral that hasn't even happened yet. To seal a cemetery off, you need to place tiles on all 4 sides and then bury one of your meeples from the map right into it. I know, this is getting a little bit morbid, right?
That pink meeple was probably one of the best moves I made in the entire game. May your soul rest in peace. Can't go on, sorry. Alright everybody, I think we have a little bit of a problem here. Oh my gosh, so the weirdest thing happened to me. I drew literally all of the ghosts and I needed this one tile to surround the cemetery to clear the 6 ghosts that are currently haunting it. And guess which tile I drew? This one! This is the piece of de-resistance. It's gonna go right next to the cemetery and I'm back in this game, baby. Right here. And now that cemetery is surrounded orthogonally, I'm also gonna drop a little meeple here to score that region later, and then I will take all these ghosts. So satisfying.
A haunted house works similarly to the monasteries from the original game, except they help you score based on how many mist tiles are surrounding it. However, they don't do anything to help you with the ghost infestation. Finally, the game is now separated into 6 different levels of difficulty: easy, and super hard. Future levels introduce hounds which help you to clear tiles of ghosts. There is also another version where the amount of tiles that you have in a stack is a timing element where you need to score certain points by a certain moment in the game. Other levels amplify the power of the cemeteries by making you place flipped over Carcassonne tiles, preventing you from building on certain edges of the main map. To win the game of Myths over Carcassonne, you need to work together to earn a certain number of points. This is a ghastly game of ghostly decisions that may not seem as transparent as it might first seem. Day 1 and I've just unboxed Myths over Carcassonne. I know this is going to be a fun and enjoyable experience. Hi everybody, it's day 3 of playing Myths over Carcassonne and I'm really enjoying the multi-layered level of strategy. I love the nice nuanced tweaks between each of the different levels, including those cemeteries and how crazy they can get. So it's day 8 and I haven't been outside in like over a week now. The reason being is this game. I'm so addicted to it. There's just something about it, but the challenge is so high that I just can't stop playing it. Who knows when I'll see the daylight next? Is this my life now? So it's like day 25 and people are wondering like where I am. I've been trying to squeeze in as many of these games as possible just because I really just want to beat it. It's like a game of Mario. When there's a level which has really tricky obstacles, you just go at it and try again just until you get that win. I unfortunately haven't had that win yet. Not for a couple of weeks now. It's like day 50 of playing Myths over Carcassonne and I don't know if I can count how many times I've tried to beat this game. Is it possible to win a game of Myths over Carcassonne? Someone out there, please tell me, can you do it? I've been trying for days, weeks, months. I just give up all hope. The cooperative nature here feels really intuitive. It actually really works so well. It really takes the game and something familiar and goes, you know what? How about we bring you together and have you work against this common goal? It does have a small pandemic-like feel about it with all the ghosts kind of appearing everywhere. But I love the fact that these ghosts appear in these regions called myths, and the fact that if you enclose those myths, you can really clear entire groups of ghosts. It has a very strong tug-of-war effect where you feel like the game pulls you in one direction, and each and every piece you draw matters so much
Because not only do you decide whether to use that piece to score, place the piece next to another mist, expanding the mist, and hopefully getting the ghostly discount, meaning that you put one less ghost out if you connect it to an existing mist. But also, how is this going to really change the landscape for the next phase of the game? I mean, as soon as a cemetery comes out, I think my heart kind of drops because I'm like, oh my goodness, the ghosts are already overrunning the board. How am I going to manage the cemetery? And if I can find a spot where the cemetery can be placed, where it's wedged between two other orthogonal pieces, then I've already done half the work already. And so these new changes really add some nice levels of tension to the game that probably didn't exist in the same way in the original game. I know the monastery is kind of similar to the castle, but the castle here doesn't allow you to remove any of the ghosts. Yes, it helps you to score, a big load of points, but it does nothing to the fact that you've got this overrun of these spiritual creatures taking over your map. Is this Ghostbusters? I think I might have a job for you. And this brings me to one crucial point. If you're someone who loves cooperative games and wants something really easy to learn, but really challenging to play, then Miss over Carcassonne is a no-brainer. I would totally get this even if I own vanilla Carcassonne. There's something explicably interesting about the pressurized nature of these ghosts really thwarting the plans that you're trying to make. And I actually really enjoy it. Now, some people might say there is a luck factor to which tiles you draw. And that happened to me on several games where I drew a tile, 2 tiles in a row, and I had 3 ghosts. So that was a total of 6 ghosts that I had to deploy out of the 15, and some were already out on my map. That proved quite frustrating in the moment, but then I thought, you know what? How can I best exploit this situation? How best can I use it in my advantage? So I started connecting them together to other myths, and then that gave me a small little discount, a little bit of leeway to kind of work with the game a little. And I think if you're not really happy with that level of pressure or that level of randomness, you could easily play a variant where you draw 2 tiles per turn, give 1 to your partner, and use 1 right now. I love how, because this is a cooperative version of the game, you can potentially score the same area multiple times, provided that you set it up well. I've set this move up pretty nicely, because if I can find a piece that fits in this area, I'll be able to score this region twice. What I really discovered in this game is that planning is everything. Every piece you place down expands the landscape in some way, creating little weird nooks where there's 3 sides that you need to perfectly match up is not a really good fit for the future pieces that you're going to acquire on your turn. I'm sure that the way that the pieces are designed, the different landscape combinations are going to vary from tile to tile, and no 2 tiles are ever the same. Also, thinking about how you're going to score. By placing your meeples in those big city regions, and multiple of them, means that you're going to be able to accelerate that score really, really quickly. You'll also want to dabble in roads here and there to try and get that ability to clear 3 ghosts off a tile. And having that little simple rule of being able to choose to score or clearing ghosts really helps for you to pivot your game strategy at certain points in the game. It's like, oh, we're in a really good situation now, I'll take the points. Oh no, we're in dire straits, everybody. Quick, hold on to your horses because we're gonna need to clear some ghosts right now. Another day, yet another loss in a game of Miss over Carcassonne, except this time I used every single tile and I managed to only get 51 points. Brutality. So in considering my final verdict, I've had an absolute blast with Miss over Carcassonne. I'm usually not someone who really enjoys a lot of cooperative games, especially ones in a fully cooperative nature. I must say that the game also can be used as a module expansion for the base game, which means you can play Miss over Carcassonne competitively if you combine it with the original game, which I absolutely love. Giving me that option means that I can not only play it cooperatively on its own, or I can use it to play competitively with my friends. Miss over Carcassonne, for me, is definitely a step up from the original game. I love this version a lot, and I would probably say that this game would be an 8 out of 10 for me. Now, if you really like this video and the entertaining skits that I do and sharing my thoughts and experiences, then please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel. Also, if you want to have a little bit more say over the direction of the channel, please head over to my Patreon page and I'd love to have a chat with you over there. Otherwise, this is Danny signing out. I hope your next game of Carcassonne is not a spooky one, but an amazing one. See you next time.